Hey, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways to start an LLC in Florida. But more important than that, I'm going to share crucial information that will help keep your new business safe and protected. So if you're not familiar with terms like commingling funds, piercing the corporate veil, or registered agent, don't worry, I will go through them, and just know that these terms are super important, but you're going to understand how they impact your LLC by the end of this video. The first way to start your Florida LLC is to go to the Florida Secretary of State website. You can find a link for the state site and any resources mentioned in the description below. And once you create an account, you can go through the steps there to get your LLC set up. As you'd expect, the state website is not the prettiest or the easiest thing to navigate, but there are no fees involved except for the $125 state filing fee as of 2022, and there is just no way around that fee. You're gonna have to pay that whether you go through the state or an online legal tool or through an attorney. The pros of using a state site are that there are no markups or upsells. The downside is that they're just not laid out well for making the registration process easy. In fact, it's more confusing than it really needs to be. One of the other downsides of the state site is that they do not help you keep your LLC compliant because the site lacks the ability to remind you of important updates and renewal reminders. I'll explain this further, but first, let's talk about what an LLC actually is so that you understand how to maintain it properly. So a lot of people just think there's a tax advantage to an LLC over a sole proprietorship, but there's not. The advantage of an LLC is the name itself. It helps to limit your liability. So imagine your business and all your assets. This could be an office, computers, business bank accounts. Now on the personal side, you might have a home, a vehicle, personal bank account. So what an LLC does is it draws this line of division between the two asset classes. And that division is something called the corporate veil. So if somebody sues your business, they can try to come after your business assets, but the LLC and the corporate veil are going to protect your personal assets so that they cannot come after things like your home or your bank account. So that is why an LLC is so important. Earlier, I mentioned something called piercing the corporate veil. So what this legal jargon means is if your business is sued, the attorney suing your business is gonna try to find some cracks in your LLC. And if they can find a crack, they can pierce the corporate veil. When this happens, they can come after your business and your personal assets. So that is why it is so important to not only set up an LLC, but to maintain it so that there are no cracks. Now, I'd like to explain why the state site isn't so great for maintaining your LLC, and I'm going to give you a few examples. So a great service for setting up your LLC is a company called InkFile, which is an online legal tool. And you'll find a link in the description below that will take you to their site. We really appreciate if you use that link because it helps support the YouTube channel. One of the reasons I like InkFile is that they have packages starting at $0 plus the state fee. And one of the perks of this package is that you get a free registered agent service for a year. This is the first reason why I prefer this site over the state site. And now let's dive into what a registered agent is. Every LLC is required to have a registered agent, which is sometimes called a resident agent, statutory agent, or agent for service of process. The registered agent must have a physical address in the state your LLC is set up, and this person helps you with important communication and documentation such as franchise tax forms, notices of litigation, tax and legal correspondence, and required annual report forms. Basically, the registered agent helps you keep your LLC in compliance. Now, if you go through the state website, they just ask for the name and the address of your registered agent, but they don't ask for much context. If you go through InkFile, that service is free for the first year and it's $119 annually after that. And you're free to change or drop the registered agent service at any time. Now, another reason I like InkFile is that the state website does not help you with the federal aspects of your business. And here's a good example of this. So your LLC is set up through your state, but an EIN business tax number is set up through the IRS. So you can think of your EIN as a social security number used to identify your business for tax purposes. So when you get set up through the state website, they do not help you with setting up your EIN number. And that is actually a pretty confusing thing to navigate if you've never done it before. I'll also include a link in the description below if you want to do your EIN setup by yourself on the IRS website. Now, I also want to highlight that they will set up a business bank account for you. And this is really important to do this from the beginning, and here's why. So not only does it make bookkeeping and accounting just that much easier for your business, but you should also know if you run your business through your personal checking account, you are commingling funds. And that's because you have personal cash flow and then you have business cash flow happening. And if that's happening in the same account, this can create a crack in your LLC, and that could lead to an attorney piercing the corporate veil and then coming after your business and personal assets. So InkFile takes these things into consideration where the state site just sets up your LLC. The nice thing with InkFile is that your dashboard helps you not only set up your LLC, but maintain it and keep it compliant with annual reports or forms that need to be filed as well. On the screen here, you're gonna see a video that goes further into the dashboard and what it looks like after setting up your LLC. There will also be a video on how to pay yourself with an LLC. Again, thank you for using the links in the description below, and I will catch you in the next video.